am Hope.
And I'm Mary.
And we're from Homeschooling to Spectrum.
And today we're at Legoland, New York because it is pass holder preview for their new Lego City water playground. And I have to tell you, it is very chilly today in the Hudson Valley. I don't know how many people are going to be splashing about, but we are definitely going to give it a try, are we?
Yeah.
Are you ready to do it? Let's go.
Let's go.
So the first thing you guys need to know about the Lego City Water Playground is that you need to make a reservation for it. Now, don't get confused. You don't need a reservation to the park itself, but you do need to make a reservation to access the water playground area. And you're going to do that by going through the Legoland New York app and go to the section where it's Reserve and Ride. And that's where you're going to find the access to make a reservation for a time slot to go into the water playground. The Reserve and Ride system from Legoland New York is a paid access. You're going to have to pay to reserve the ride times for the day, but not the water playground. This is listed under that page, but if you scroll down to the bottom past all the rides, you're going to see that this is free. So don't get scared. You're not paying for access to the water playground. It's just on that page that they're doing the reservations through. So once you're there, you're going to scroll down to the water playground and you're going to click there to make your reservation. And then it's going to ask you how many in your party you want to make a reservation for. You'll pick however many in your group are going to access, and you're going to choose your whole party. So even mom and dad, if you're not planning to get wet and splash around, you're going into the playground, so you have to include yourself as well. So don't forget to do that. Once you do that, it's going to take you to another page where it's going to show you all the time slots available. They're calling them sessions. So like it will say 15 more sessions available today. And each little session block, it's going to show you how many spaces are actually left to reserve. And I think that's really great because it will give you an idea of how busy that playground is going to be when you're choosing to go. From what I can see, the capacity of the water playground is probably around 300, somewhere between 280 and 300, because when I went on to make my reservation at 7 a.m., the pass holder preview day, it said 300 spots left in several of the boxes. So that's giving me the idea that that's the capacity of the water playground, that's what it can hold, and that's probably why Legoland New York is doing and using the system. I'm assuming, at least for now, whether or not they change it moving forward, but I figure since it's new, it's obviously going to be very popular. We're going into summer. People have waited a long time for this to open. I think they just want to make sure that they're good to go with the capacity and they're not turning people away when there's just too many people there to keep it safe for the kids to play. Once you make your reservation, you're going to see on the app a countdown appear, and it's going to count down until you are allowed to scan in to the water playground. And that's going to happen 10 minutes before your reservation. So let's say your reservation you make is at 2 p.m. It's going to be from 2 to 2:20. At about 1:50 p.m., you're going to see that countdown go away, and it's going to change into a QR code that the employees will scan. At that time, go make your way over there because you need to be there so they can scan you in. You have that 10 minutes before your reservation to do this, or your reservation will expire. The QR code will disappear. The app will say your reservation has expired, and they will not let you in. You will have to make another reservation to go into the playground. Now, we got there about 15 minutes before our reservation, and we started lining up with everyone. They lined us up right at the entrance. And we could see inside, the employees were still actually finishing up getting everything ready. They were working on a booth that was going to be selling towels and sunblock and such, and all the lifeguards were talking to each other and seemed to be getting into position. And I have to say, there were a ton of lifeguards. For an area that didn't have water more than 1 foot deep, I was impressed with the amount of lifeguards that they have on duty there. And from what I saw the entire time we were there, they were pretty awesome. When 2 p.m. hit, sure enough, our countdown was done. A QR code appeared. Oh, and actually, the QR code on my phone, it didn't appear immediately. I had to refresh. So I would suggest that don't freak out if you see your countdown disappear and there's just a blank space and no code. Just refresh your app, refresh your phone, because it showed right up. The employee scanned us in, and then we made our way down this ramp to another holding section. So we walked down this ramp. There was another roping us off to the very entrance of the water playground, and they held us there. We were held for probably another 10 to 15 minutes there. They were having delays, and they explained that to us, and they were very good. They said, this is not eating into your time. You will have your full 20 minutes. Don't worry. They were just having a delay with opening on this particular day. And they did have signs posted that they were calling this a dress rehearsal, that it's the new opening, and that they were still working the kinks out. So we were all advised that some things like this may happen. There were some parents who were not so happy about waiting those extra 10 minutes, but it is what it is. The employees were all professional about it. They were kind. They were reassuring that we would not lose any time. So it is what it is. Once they were all ready, the rope was dropped and we were let into the playground, and the kids started to have a really good time. There was probably about 50 people in our group. If I had to estimate, that's what it looked like. Like I said, it was a chilly day today and there was a breeze out. And it was also a Thursday. School was still in session for most school systems in the Hudson Valley. So that could have been part of it too. But there was probably about 50 people going in. They have in the playground, there's 2 sections of seating areas. And in those seating areas, there are umbrellas set up, spaced out. If you want to get a seat with one of those umbrellas, I would suggest you plan to be in the front of your group, like get there early to be in the front entering, because those were the first seats to go. Now, just a special needs family tip. In case you're a family who has a kiddo who may like to wander, like my daughter sometimes does, there are 2 ways to get in and out of the water playground: the entrance and the exit. So the entrance ramp, they're not going to let anyone exit through that. So if my daughter went to go and leave through that, I know that employee would turn her back because she would be told, you're not allowed to leave this way. The other area of accessibility is the exit, and there's also an employee posted there, and it's also a gate up until you're ready to leave that the employee will open. So I know to station myself by that area. If I lose sight of her, I know to go right there, because there's no other way she could get out of the water playground section. And for me, that's important. Some water parks, obviously, they have sections like this, but they're completely open. They're not gated in. This is not that. It is completely gated in, and there's a little more calmness to me knowing that I can keep an eye on her and know that she's not going to be able to exit without me losing sight of her. Within the playground, there's all different sections. There are 2 small toddler slides. There's about 4 other slides for bigger kids. My daughter was allowed to do the slides. Obviously she's older, but no one said she was too tall to do any of them. There was a section where you can walk through. They had sprinklers that you can get wet. Obviously they have the bucket drop and the walk-through area where you could also, get soaking wet, and most of the kids there did exactly that. It's a lot of fun. Even though it was a really chilly day today, we were fortunate that because of the lack of shade in the park, the sun was out, and it helped make it a little bit warmer, and it was a lot of fun. I tried to keep my eye on the time from the minute we were let in for 20 minutes, which was our reservation amount of time, and it seemed like we were there longer. I was thinking at the end of 20 minutes, I would hear the lifeguards blow a whistle, they would have everyone exit, and then they would allow the next group to go in. But honestly, on this particular day, from what I experienced, that didn't happen. We were never really told to leave. I believe we stayed there about a half hour or so, and then we utilized the changing rooms to change into dry clothes. Can't leave the water playground in a bathing suit. You have to change back into clothes or have some sort of cover up on. They do have signs. It says you need shirts and shorts and shoes to go back into the main park. Bathing suits are not allowed. And I did see them stop a couple of people who tried to leave in a bathing suit, and those families were told, you need to change back into your play clothes. You can't walk out into the park with your bathing suit. So you may want to reserve a few minutes of your reservation time in order to change and dry off if you choose to do so. My daughter does not like to be wet, like in wet clothes, unless she's actively engaging in water activities. So we needed to go dry off and change into her regular clothes. We brought our own towel. There are no towels provided here. So if you're wanting to dry off, bring your own towels unless you want to purchase one. They obviously had them for sale. We did not want to purchase one, so we just brought our own. The changing rooms are really spacious. Obviously, it's a brand new area, so they're obviously immaculately clean. My daughter needs a little assistance with changing. There was no problem with the two of us fitting in there very comfortably. I could have probably brought a stroller in with me if I needed to as well. There's a bench to sit on, so that's nice to have that there in order to dry off and change. But yeah, you want to make sure you take that into consideration. If your kids are not going to be comfortable just throwing shorts and a t-shirt on and be having wet clothes underneath, you'll want to utilize those changing rooms and get into dry clothes. Now the other section of the water playground is the Build-A-Boat area. This is similar to, on the top side of the park, they have the little building where you can build a race car and race it down a ramp. Same concept. You have an area where you're given the base of a boat, and they have all different sections with all different Lego pieces. Kids can build and design their own boat, and then they have a whole water section where you walk to the top and you can release the boat down and it goes sailing towards the bottom of the area. It's very cute. It's a lot of fun. My daughter really did enjoy it. And this is not, although it's attached to the water playground, it's separate. It has its own entrance, and you do not need a reservation for it. In other words, if you want to just do the Build-A-Boat, you don't need to make a reservation for the water playground. You can just walk up and enter and do this activity. Now don't get me wrong. It's going to have a maximum capacity, so there may be a line to wait for your turn, but it does not need a reservation with the water playground. This is something you can just walk up and take advantage of. When we were all done with the water, we did walk back over through Lego City to take a peek at the new ride that's still under construction. I have no idea when they have the schedule to open. They're not saying a lot about it, not a lot of advertising at all. Everything was focused on the water playground. But they're still making progress on it, and it looks like it's going to be a really nice ride and a great addition to Legoland New York. We did also stop for a quick bite to eat at Briccolini's. That's their pizza restaurant in Lego City area. But I'm going to do a separate video on that, just with our comments and what we thought about it. I'm not going to include it in this particular video, so keep an eye out for that. I'm hoping to do a little video for each of the restaurants, since a lot of people have questions and want to know how the food is and what the atmosphere is like. And if any of you guys have a question or you want to see inside a particular restaurant, leave the questions in the comments and we'll be happy to try and get the answer for you or check it out for you and make a video for it. So that was our visit for today. It was very cool to see the new playground, the water playground, finally opening up. It was a lot of fun. What was your favorite part?
The bucket drop and the slides.
The bucket truck and the slide. And it's nice because they had slides for all different ages there. It's definitely something we look forward to. We're going to come back. Thanks, guys. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe to our channel, and we'll continue to make videos for you as we continue our journey homeschooling the spectrum. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.